Welcome to X-Connect. My name is Kareem Kanji. Thank you so much for joining us today as we continue our focus on gaming and technology. And today we have the co-founder of InGamer Sports, Mr. Nick Sulsky. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Let's start off with what is InGamer Sports?
Well, InGamer is a social game that you play in conjunction with live events.
Okay.
So our belief is that the only content that people have to watch in this day and age, because of Netflix and PVRs and YouTube and TiVo, are real-time events. So the real-time events are sports, award shows, and elections.
Okay.
So because of that, there's a massive opportunity that's emerged because there's a predictable window of time when you know audiences are engaged in something.
Yeah.
At the same time, broadcasters and brands are having a much harder time keeping those audience glued to their screen because of Facebook, because of Twitter, because of the other devices that people have in their hand.
Yeah.
They're fragmenting all over the place, which means it's harder to keep people sticking to the broadcast, and it's harder for brands to keep their message consistent across all those devices. So the conventional 30-second commercial or conventional media, it's not as effective as it used to because you can't actually predict the eyeballs that are going to be looking at a specific event or a specific piece of content. Interesting.
People have always said that when all this technology started coming around, people say, you know what, people are going to PVR all these live events, and it's turned out that people would much rather watch these live events live.
So the story that I bring back, being an '80s kid, is the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable. There was a very important episode where, as you remember, he delivered babies.
Yeah.
And he was on like a 24-hour job or whatever slot, and his Philadelphia Eagles and the Giants were playing, if I remember correctly, and he taped the game. Taped the big game, and he got his 2 hoagies and his chocolate soda.
Sitting down on the sofa.
That's right, he was excited, he didn't want to talk to anyone, no one could call him, the phone rang, and somebody said, oh, can you believe that the Eagles won? And bang, his whole afternoon was ruined. The reality, especially now, because of social media, because of Facebook, and because of Twitter, and because of the amount of real-time conversation that exists, and how difficult it is to separate yourself from that. Once a real-time event happens, it's very difficult to insulate yourself from understanding or from hearing what the result was. And the second you know what happens, you're less likely to want to watch it because the emotion of it is gone. It's all about the emotion. Sports is so passionate because you like to root for something. And you don't know what's going to happen. It's unpredictable. True. The second you know what the answer is, you're not going to watch the movie, you're not going to read the book, you're not going to watch the game. You're not going to watch the Oscars.
Yeah. I noticed on the InGamer blog, you were very active during the Olympics. And there was a lot of chatter online, and I don't know if in reality it made a difference or not, about NBC's decision to not really broadcast anything live. It seemed everything was on tape delay, everything was in prime time. Even on the weekends, everything was in prime time. And I'm very curious, what are your thoughts on what NBC did, and I don't know if you have any insights in terms of what the actual numbers were that actually watched, in the States specifically, the tape delayed events.
So I don't know what the numbers are.
Okay.
Number off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I believe, and this is completely just my own conjecture, the reason why NBC aired those events in prime time, because they did them on tape delay. Yeah. Advertising real estate in prime time is conventionally more valuable than at 2 in the afternoon or at 9 in the morning. So in order for them to generate the most amount of dollars, advertising agencies and brands, they're starting to understand the modern audience. They're starting to understand the reality of what the modern consumer and how they, are watching content. But the rates that NBC could charge from 8 till 10 are extraordinarily higher than the rates they would have been able to charge from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And at the end of the day, it's all rate card. And it's all a numbers game. It's all about dollars and cents. Yeah. Do you think NBC really cares how many people are watching or how much money they're making?
That's very interesting. That's an interesting way to look at that.
It's changing, though. Engagement. We've been asked a lot of times. We had an 86-minute time on site per unique visitor during the NHL playoffs. So I've been asked this question by a number of people. So I know how to sell a 30-second commercial. I know how to price a 30-second commercial.
Yeah.
I know how to price a banner or a button on my site. Yes. I know how to price being a sponsor of an email newsletter.
Yes.
How do I price 86 minutes of engagement? People don't know yet.
Yeah.
You know, the idea of engagement, the idea of what content is shifting so dramatically that the antiquated nature of big media and big advertising agencies haven't really gotten there yet. And which is fine. Innovation, it takes time to get people fully understanding how you can successfully sell things and how you can successfully market things. And quite frankly, audiences are now starting to understand how I can actually make my enjoyment of these events better. 86% of sports fans have a companion device in their hand, whether it's a phone, a tablet, or a computer, while they're watching. That's an extraordinary shift from how people engaged with these types of events even 2 years ago. So how do you make those experiences better? I mean, we've come up with a solution that we think is actually the best way to make those things better. You give them a great, fun, easy game to play in correlation with that. We give users all of the content they would want to see anywhere else. And most importantly to us, you give the audiences the ability to communicate with all of their friends socially in real time. So now they don't have to go to other places to be social around sports. You can do it here, all in one place. So that gives broadcasters and brands a way to fully maximize the power of live events.